Good morning, parents and athletes. Michelle here with Athlete Prospect Buzz, and I thought I'd start early this morning so we could get on a scary topic. You know, nighttime, it's dark, alluding. I didn't want to talk about nightmares, but just kidding. But the thing I want to talk about is nightmares on Recruiting Street. Boy, have I seen a ton of them, and I'm sure many of you have experienced it. So, I just want to talk about a few that, I've experienced, how we try to, fix it. Some of them are not fixable. Some of them you can't come to the light and bounce back from it. My middle son is a prime example. However, he, like I mentioned before, he's doing great. So I don't want to act like he's in this state of depression or anything, because he's far from that. But it's just such a blow when you can't fulfill your kids' dreams and they turn into a nightmare. So this is coffee this morning, guys. Promise, no cocktails in the morning. You find yourself juggling all of this information. You don't even know where to start. I know, I've been there, trust me. And as a parent, you want your kid to think, I got it together. I've got this. Like, don't worry about it. We're going to make it happen. And inside you're screaming. You're like, oh, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't even know where to start. And then all of a sudden, the first thing you do is you go and you like this recruiter or this recruiting service comes along. And, you just like freaking out. You're like, okay, fine. I'll just pay you thousands of dollars. And then, sometimes it works out. Most of the time it doesn't. Now, let me put a disclaimer in here, guys. I'm not bashing recruiting services. I've heard of successes from some of these recruiting services. And I've also seen many, folks that do help kids. And they are, have been able to successfully get them, some scholarships, but that's far and few between. And I've seen some bad ones. So how do you know? Like, how do you know as a parent what's good and what's not? Well, obviously you ask around, you get references and stuff like that. But even then, it's still, to me, I just feel like it's not addressing your pain. It's not addressing your need, your need that you can actually have control over. We all know that knowledge is power. We all know that educating ourselves always works out in the end. And so that's why I take a different perspective on trying to, solve your nightmares and get you on the right path to fulfilling these amazing, wonderful dreams that can transpire. I know that you guys, if you haven't, you can go check out my other video where at the beginning on my YouTube channel at Athlete Prospect Buzz, where it talks about my journey, how we got here. So I'm not going to repeat that, but just to really touch on it, that the first go around with this with my middle son was a nightmare. Okay, and I when I went into my younger son, I was like, okay, this is not going to happen again. It's not going to happen with him, or fuse. And I became obsessed. And, I wanted to have the power. I didn't want somebody else where I had to sit around, and check my phone. I keep checking my phone going, is this guy, is the coach going to contact me? Or, because I didn't know I could contact coaches. I didn't know the NCAA rules. I didn't know what was proper etiquette, any of that stuff, And so, it's just like, it was like, I have to give this to people. I have to educate people. I have to give this information out to them, So I wanted, I won't get off on that tangent because I've talked about this before. I'm so passionate about it, you guys. And I know those of you who know me, know that this is so important and that I got to get this out to the masses. It's such a need for it. But anyway, I'm gonna really share with you some nightmares that have recently happened, and I consider them nightmares. but it's just because I'm looking at it, and I try to stay positive. I'm a positive person, but it's just so late in the game that a lot of people come to me for help. And I can't stress enough that people need to really start, parents, athletes, you need to start this process early, and there's no guarantees you're going to get as an 8th grader or 9th grader, get an offer. There's no guarantees you're going to get an offer at all, but you can take control and make sure, it happens. All right. So I just had recently sorry guys, I got to get my kick of coffee this morning. I recently had a kid that I had met. I help coordinate a 7-on-7 team over the past couple of years. And so I had met a kid that, like I said, I observed these kids on the field, and I saw that he had potential. And I went up and started talking to him, and kind of digging in and figuring out where he was in the recruiting process, what grade he was in, all the things that I usually do when I first meet, a kid and his parents. And, he laid it out for me. And then I ended up, then I ended up talking to his parents and found out that they had ended up giving a significant amount of money to some guy that claimed he was, could work to get him a scholarship. I don't know exactly what the conversation was, so I'm just going to keep it very vague like that. But they heard from him 1 or 2 times to go on these group recruiting trips. Now, I know you guys have heard of that, right? So, and I've done them before, okay? However, many of these guys will give this expectation and not be transparent and say, hey, we're gonna go up here and we're gonna end up, taking you to, hyping them up, giving them false hope. And those are garbage, just BS. Unless you have been communicating with that coach prior to you going to this trip, it's garbage. Okay. I can't stress that enough to you guys. It's a wasted trip. It's money taken out of your pocket to go wherever you're going to go. Sometimes they even charge you, 60, 75, whatever extra dollars just so they can cover the expenses for the van. Okay. So you're paying for those top prospects that could potentially, that they've already got determined. They've already sent the film to the coach. They already know. If you're not one of those and you haven't been communicating with the coach, I wouldn't do it. I personally would not do it. So, so they got an invite for one of those. I don't even think they even went. By the time they got to me and we started talking, and I started filling their head full of knowledge, like, no, this is what you need to be doing. You should have been doing this. You should have been doing that. Let's get on the ball. Okay. By that time, this kid's a rising senior, and they've already got their 2019s. Most coaches, like right now, it's June 23rd, I think. June 23rd. Yeah, June 23rd. Their coaches are still got a few holes that they need to fill, but it's like they have prospects already lined up on their depth chart, exactly who they want. Maybe not. There's, especially when it comes to any of the Division I schools. Now, Division II, Division III is different, and I'm telling you, because of the change in the dynamics of the NCAA rules about, being able to take visits now during the spring and committing during the summer, a lot of kids are committing now during the summer. And so I'm telling parents, I'm like, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Like early, 8th and 9th grade. People think I'm insane. This is such a long process, folks. Okay. And you can make it and turn it into not a nightmare just by simply having knowledge. So anyway, get back into this young man. I tried to get him in front of some schools. I felt like he could play Division I Power 5. Got him up in front of some of the coaches that I knew of. There was some interest. However, it just didn't pan out that way. He does, however, have other offers, has some great offers. And you know what? The bottom line is this, folks. He is going to have his college education paid for. That's the bottom line. That's what we're all here for, right? Yeah, we want to play college football, and be in the limelight. And that's the stuff that the kids dream of. But for us as parents, we need and we want that education paid for. All right. So, things worked out for him, and they're going to work out, no doubt. I have another situation where this is a nightmare for me, okay? Because when I spend time with you and I go and I try to help you and dedicate my time with you, I give 150% because I have a passion for this game. I love these kids. I like they're my own. I could not even know you, but I know when I see, talent and they could be a potential fit to play at the next level. I just have a passion for it. And so this particular kid, parents I had known also through the 7-on-7, they have moved around a little bit from program to program. And, I don't have any feelings either way about that. That's your own personal choice. You got to do what's right for your kid. And again, having to move from place to place is just not having the knowledge, maybe not having enough knowledge about the program, or somebody hyped it up or whatever. Listen, it's a hard decision to make, and I get it. However, he's jumped from school to school, and, by the time he's landed where he's at, so he hasn't had any offers. Again, another rising senior with no offers. And, I've been trying to help them. However, the nightmare for me is that when I tell these parents what they need to do, they don't listen. They don't do it. They may listen, but they don't do it. Okay? And, it's like I'm blowing hot air. And that is one key that, one thing that I cover in my course is like, and go into great detail about understanding, one, if you're at the right school, if that's, and I mean college, if that's the right fit for you, is that the right division? Is that the right level? Is that, again, not everybody is an SEC or ACC kid. But if you are an ACC kid, you can go and play, or if you can SEC, you can go and play, but you might not be playing at the top, SEC school. And I tell people before, and this is one thing I had to tell them, if you go to camps, sorry guys, sorry about that. If you go to camps, you need to be communicating with those coaches before you get there, or you're going to be thrown into the masses. They need to know who you are, especially when you're going to big SEC schools and ACC schools. How do you do that? I go into that in detail within my training courses. So, we'll talk about that. And, these are all small things that you're not going to find out. Sorry about that, guys. Dadgummit. Sorry. Those are things that you're not going to find out through these general, these recruiters. I can tell you that right now. Most of them are not going to share that information because they want to be the middleman. They want to have the one that has the control with the coach. When I deal with you, first of all, you take my training courses, you get the knowledge. And then you can go out and do it yourself. You're not going to need a recruiting service. You're not going to need me. Okay. And then, if I do help you, if I do manage to help you, I know you and I help you by forwarding on, and I know a coach that might know you, I pass the information off to the coach, and that's it. Like, we don't have communication about you. If he's interested in your son, he will, reach out to the high school coach, pull his transcripts, ask the coach about him and see, how, how he is in the weight room, how he is with his teammates. He'll progress that if he's interested. I'm not going to keep coming, checking up and checking on and, hey, what's the deal with this kid? That's not what I do. That's a recruiting service. Okay. So understand, like, you can have that power. You'll be able to follow up with him. You go to my training courses, or take my courses. Okay. So those are a couple of nightmares. And I mean, I call them nightmares just because for me, it's a nightmare because it's so frustrating that I haven't got this information out yet. And that's an injustice to a lot of you parents and you athletes. It's just unsurmountable, the amount of people that I see and hear from every single day on how badly they need this information. So, hey guys, thanks. I appreciate always. Make sure you come check out me on Facebook at Athlete Prospect Buzz. I go live as much as I can. However, I've been having some issues, so I decided to do a little bit different today. So this is going to be on my YouTube channel. Also, you can hit me up on Instagram at Athlete Prospect Buzz _. So go search for me and follow me. And feel free to follow me on my personal account too at Blue Eye Soul, BLUEYESOL. And I kind of mix the two. I'm going to try to keep most of the stuff on my Athlete Prospect Buzz on Instagram. So thank you guys again. Have a great day and have sweet dreams.